Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the Bestech Paladin. This is a brand new model from Bestech. At the time I'm putting this up, I don't think they're even quite available in stores yet, but it's going to happen any day now. This is a full production version. This is not like a prototype or anything. They just sent some of them out to some of us reviewers before they went to the distributors. But this is a full production version of the knife, which you will be able to purchase very shortly. This is May 16th I'm planning on putting this out. Or May 17th, I'm sorry, I'm planning on putting this out. And as of right now, they are not available on sites, but they will be. So keep an eye out for them. Very, very cool knife. Definitely worth keeping an eye out for. This is a Bestech model, as I said, a new one with D2 steel and G10 handles. That is important because for a while Bestech went away from D2. They had some problems with a couple of suppliers. They had some chippy blades and stuff, so they stopped using that supplier. They went to 12C27 on a lot of their new 2018 models, but this one is back with the D2, and I'm quite happy about that. 12C27 is okay, but the D2 is much, much better. Very happy to see it back again. This model, a lot of people have said, is kind of derivative of two of their other models. It looks the handle more like a scimitar, the blade kind of like a kento, I guess. But I think there are some pretty significant differences in them, and I don't mind anyway. It's a good combo. It's a great knife, so I don't care if it is a parts bin put together, which it isn't. But even if it was, I wouldn't care. It's a really, really cool knife. Let's get into the stats and the specs on this baby. You have, again, these are half-inch squares in this particular background. You have an overall blade length of 3.75 inches. You have an overall length of 8.5 inches. 1.36 inch blade stock, so not terribly thick, but not terribly thin either. Only 20 thousandths behind the edge, though, which is pretty good. It's a fairly slicey little blade. And a 0.57 inch handle width, so a little thick, but not crazy. Nicely contoured, though. And a weight of 4.5 ounces, so not what you would call a lightweight, but not bad at all for a knife this size. This is a pretty big knife. Let's do some size comparisons really quick. First of all, we will do, look at some other kind of heavier duty knives here. This is going to be bigger, but your Cold Steel Recon 1. It's a little smaller than that, obviously. A knife that I think this will be compared to a lot when people shopping around. This is about $52. This is a little cheaper than that, but you have your Ontario Wrap Model 1 and D2. Very overall similar size to that knife. And we'll keep them short here with the size comparisons. Last up, I'm doing a full-on comparison video with these two. It will be coming up soon. Your Tuya Knife Bruiser. Very similar in overall dimensions to that. Another D2 G10 Chinese ball bearing flipper. That's a lot of words to put together. All right, let's talk about this knife specifically. First of all, the aesthetics and the quality. I think it looks really good. I am known to be the most boring man in the world, but I really like this black spec. I don't mind the DLC that's on the blade. It's very tastefully done. It's small. It does come in other colors. It's got an orange I've seen and a green, so there are going to be other colors coming out. I think it's just a classy, simple design. It does have some nice little touches, though, like this nice little milled out part, and the handle looks pretty cool. I do like that a lot. Just gives it a little bit of flair. The Bestech pivot always looks really cool. It is a bit free spinny, though, so that's not great. But other than that, again, the only thing I'm going to complain about aesthetically, same thing I always complain about, the font. Just, I don't mind the quote, this isn't even that billboardy. I don't mind that it's there, but guys, just pick another font. How hard is it? I say it with every Bestech. Just pick a better font. That's it. Just something. Just make that italic. Anything. Just, it's just so plain and just font. I don't like it, but even better if it was up here. But their logo looks nice. I like that. That looks really good. But I don't know why when they put the model names, it's just Paladin. Cool name, though. Quality-wise, it's great. I have no issues with it. Blade centering's perfect. All very smooth edges. This thing, it just feels very smooth and very well done in your hands. It reminds me of the $100 Wii's. It really does, as far as just the way it feels. It's a great knife. Quality, the only thing I ding a bit is, you know, the screws aren't that awesome on it. They're not bad, but they're not that great. But again, it's $52. You got to cut some money somewhere. And, you know, the polished clip, I wouldn't mind if that was some kind of satiny or something. I don't know. it matches the screws, I guess, but yeah, pretty well done though. You're looking at nicely skeletonized liners in here. It's not bad. It's very well done. I have to say the quality on it is excellent. I can't complain about that. Looks are always kind of in the eye of the beholder. It does have a bit of a Persian to it, but not a whole lot. That was I had a scimitar for a long time, sold it, missed it. Now that I have this in my hands, I don't miss the scimitar anymore. When these are available, I'll be snapping one up. The scimitar is a great knife also, but it was very Persian-y, where this is not as much, so I do like that. Now let's get on to the blade, since we're already talking about it. Super sharp out of the box. I do have to say, good job. Grinds are even, very, very, very sharp. I like the blade shape. I think it's very useful EDC blade shape. It does have that bit of a Persian at the top, but if you're just looking at the actual blade shape, got a good amount of flat, good amount of belly. Cuts really well, like I said, 20 thousandths behind the edge and a very high flat grind. It's a pretty good slicer. It's not a total slicing machine, but it's pretty darn good. And nice D2 steel, can't complain about that. I've had no problems with this batch. I didn't have any problems with the previous ones that some people had some problems with the Bestechs, but I think that was just one bad batch of knives. And honestly, my personal opinion is they kind of overreacted by just not using D2 for a while. I think they just had one bad batch, and good on them though. It's better to overreact than underreact. So good on Bestech for doing that. But I wish they'd have just stuck with the D2. Not made the 12C27 ones, but I'm glad to see it back, especially on a knife like this. Great blade on this. It's really, really good. I'm very impressed with the blade on this knife. Ergonomically, also, as I said, no sharp edges. Fits in my hand very well. This sharpening choil, if I make one ergonomic complaint, they could have just made this a smidge more aggressive and you would have been able to use it as a forward-fingered choil. As it is now, I've got pretty skinny fingers and there's still no way I can use it as that. But it's a great sharpening choil. It really is. But if they could have just taken out that, another quarter inch, I would have liked it even more. The jimping up top here is really good. It's a bit aggressive, but it's not like uncomfortable. It's the perfect amount of aggressive, I think. It's definitely not what I sometimes call ornamental. It is very functional jimping, so you can really choke up and get in for more detail stuff. No hot spots whatsoever. I like the contours they put in here. Makes it very easy to get to the lock bar, and it's comfortable. So ergonomically, this knife is really, really good. This is definitely a knife I could see myself doing heavy work with for a couple hours at a time and not be sick of having it in my hand. It's a very, very good ergonomic knife. Let's talk about the deployment, or the carry of it. I almost skipped one of my own categories. The carry is not bad. For a knife this size, it's not too bad. It does slide in and out of the pocket pretty easy. There is something about it that just, whether it's the location of the clip or whatever, it does take up a fair amount of room in your pocket when you're trying to get your hand by. I don't think I'd put this in a pocket with something I wanted to get out very often, because a lot of things, you've got to reach deep down in your pocket, you're going to take the knife out. It's not quite to the pocket dominator status that I call some knives, but it's close. I don't know what it is about it, just my particular pairs of jeans I've tried it with, or just the location of the clip or whatever. I find it pretty difficult to get my hand past it, but it does slide out easy. No deep carry, but not much is sticking out. Only about that much. For a knife this size, I'm not going to ding it for that. It does have a lanyard hole if you care about that. I do not. Let's talk about the action. Bestech's known for pretty good actions. This is no exception. Ceramic ball bearings, ceramic detent. The detent is great, nice and snappy. Almost completely fall shutty. It's awesome. I've not torn this apart or done anything with it. And yeah, it's really, really good. I like everything about the action on it. It's great. For $52, not bad. Guessing. We're assuming it's going to be the $52 range. Like I said, it's not out yet, but that's what all their other knives in this kind of area cost, so I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. Yeah, not bad at all. I think the deployment is pretty freaking slick on it, as you'd expect from a Bestech, and this is no disappointment whatsoever. And as I said, I have not torn this apart, and I've not found a Bestech yet that I couldn't make better by changing the lube out, which that's not a knock on Bestech. I find that with most knives. 90% of the stuff I review, if I tear it apart and lube it back up myself, it's always a little better. It's just production. That's what you get. You gotta get the units out the door, as they say. So But I'm really impressed with this knife. I really, really do like it. And I wish I could keep this one, but I cannot. It's on a pass around. It's got to go to somebody else. But I'm definitely, when they're available, I'm going to buy one as my kind of current benchmark of the China D2 knives. Yes, some of the Wii ones are a little bit nicer, but they cost twice as much, so they should be nicer, right? That just makes sense. As far as these more budget D2 steel knives from China, from real companies, this is probably my favorite one I've reviewed so far. I really do like it. It's a great, great knife, and can't wait to get one of my very own. And I may even go off script and get the orange one, because the orange one looks really cool. Stasa23, I'll link to his review down below too. He reviewed the orange one, and man, the orange one actually looks pretty slick. So I don't normally like orange knives, but that orange one looks pretty cool. It's not a ridiculous orange. It's kind of like a burnt orange kind of thing. I really like it. So anywho, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. I highly recommend this knife. Keep an eye out for it when it's available. When they do become available, I will edit the description down below and put a link to a couple places where they're available. But keep an eye out. The Paladin, great knife. One of my favorite budget knives of 2018 so far. And we're almost halfway through the year, so we're getting there. So when you say that in February, it doesn't matter. But now that we're getting into the middle of the year, that means something. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Check out the Paladin when it's available. I've been Brian. Have a good one.